Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight from downtown Detroit, it's some time for some Saturday night baseball as Players Weekend continues here at Comerica Park. Central Division Battle, Game 3 in this series, featuring the Detroit Tigers and the visiting Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Game 3 in the series. Tigers, it appeared, Rod, were going up 2-0 in the series. You got to play 9 innings, though, and things just kind of ran off the rails last night.
Well, that's what the former skipper Jim Leland used to preach, and that's what Ron Gardenhire also preaches. You got to play 27 outs. Unfortunately for him, as he didn't have it last night. He gave up a few runs, and the Tigers went on to lose that game. But they play very good baseball against the White Sox. They can start another winning streak today.
You know, as we hit the stretch run here, Nicholas Castellanos doing some of his best work. And one of the things we've noticed is he's going foul line to foul line with his base hits.
Absolutely, and that's how you run off a lot of numbers like he has been able to run off lately. He's going down the left field line. He's driving balls in the gap as well. He had a couple of knocks in last night's game with 2 outs. Those knocks are always golden. Nicholas Castellanos, he wears out the White Sox. He's got 19 RBIs against them, but you brought it up. I mean, it's the direction of his hits and where he's placing everything that's allowed him to have this kind of success in his last 11 contests. Nicholas Castellanos is again making a really strong push to 100 RBI like he did last year. He had about the same number of ribbies last year as he does right now.
Yep, all right. Ryan Carpenter, he's on the mound tonight for the Tigers. Pretty good in his last start. Did give up 3 home runs against Minnesota. By and large, though, pitched well.
Well, he got his first major league win in his last start against the Minnesota Twinkies. And the one thing about him is he uses breaking ball very effectively. He knows where his bread is buttered. He didn't walk any in that contest. He's not going to walk a lot here today. He's going to get more strikeouts because these White Sox, well, they swing and miss a lot. They've got a lot of guys that strike out a lot. And that breaking ball is going to give up some of these guys fits.
All right, after a short break, we'll go to the Call Sam Studios, check in with John Keating. Coming up tonight, Tigers trying to get that Lucas Giolito. They've done well against him so far. Tigers Sox, Game 3. It's on the way next.
big money encounter tonight. Lucas Giolito was the 16th overall pick 6 years ago. But around some injuries, he right now has the highest ERA among qualifying starting pitchers. That ERA is north of 6, the same number that he has against the Tigers. Game time's coming up. Welcome back to the Call Sam studio. I'm John Keating. The White Sox are the home run hittingest team in baseball lately. But last night was the first time in 16 games they did not homer. They also struck out 12 times last night against Tiger pitching, and the Tigers are trying to beat them tonight for the 11th time in 15 meetings so far this season. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By Jeep. Hurry in and get a great deal at the Jeep Labor Day sales event. And by Greektown Casino Hotel, the only casino in the heart of downtown Detroit.
An overcast night here at the ballpark. 77 degrees our game time temp. Here is the starting lineup for the White Sox, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Tim Anderson, Jose Rondon, and Avisail Garcia in the top 3 spots. Palka batting cleanup. Davidson, then Moncada, and Lamar Smith and Engel rounded out for Rick Renteria. They are facing Ryan Carpenter tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Ryan got his first major league victory 5 days ago against the Minnesota Twins. Gave up 3 runs in that contest. Overall 6 ERA, 156 whip. He's punched out 10 and he's walked 3. He's got a fastball that will get up to about 90. Also has a couple of different breaking pitches and a changeup.
A little bit of a different look to the lineup tonight for the White Sox. Tim Anderson will lead things off, and he looks at ball one to get things going. It'll be Anderson, Rondon, and Garcia against the lefty Ryan Carpenter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson, good power at the top of their lineup. He has 17 home runs. He's also stolen 24 bases this year. And the average at 245 coming in. That'll miss a bit high. 2-1 now on Anderson.
It's a good pitch there by Carpenter. Going inside against Anderson. Now he can wrap that breaking ball around the outside corner, or he can go down and in with a really good breaking ball.
2-2. Carpenter spent a ton of years in the minor leagues, finally getting a chance to pitch at the major league level this year with the Tigers. Really, in spring training, he was one of the candidates to win that 5 spot in the rotation. Then the Tigers signed Liriano. That'll miss high and away. 3-2.
When you've logged as many minor league innings as Carpenter has logged, when you do get to the big leagues, when you finally arrive, you've got a pretty good idea how to pitch.
Carpenter in the minor leagues threw a little under 900 innings in the minors, so he is certainly well seasoned at that level. AAA the last 2 years in the PCL at Albuquerque. 3-2 on Tim Anderson. Rondon and then Garcia here in the first. The White Sox stunning the Tigers with a 6-run 8th last night and came back to win it 6-3. And again the 3-2. And he walked in ball 4. The leadoff man is on.
McLaren Health brings you the Tigers starting defense. Mikey Mata gets to start in left field once again. Reyes, he's out in center field. Nicholas Castellanos, he's in right. Up the middle, the Tigers will defend with Iglesias and Goodrum, Madusi, Candelario on the corners. And Grayson Griner is the starting catcher. Grayson also caught Carpenter quite a bit when they were both down in AAA, so he knows him very well.
They will keep an eye on Anderson, as we mentioned, with 24 steals this year. He has been caught 7 times. Rondon is up there in the 2 spot. Did not play in the ball game yesterday. He did start game 1 and homered in that game off Lewis Coleman. Batting .245, 4 homers on the year for Jose Rondon. Recently called up from AAA. Anderson now has drawn 3 throws early on here. Carpenter trying to keep him close. Showing bunt, ball 1 high. Tigers, despite the loss last night, still have won 10 of the 14 between these 2 squads. They'll wrap up this series tomorrow, and then it's in Chicago later next week to wrap up the season series. 2-0 now on Rondon. Tiger bullpen had to go deep in the ball game last night. They got roughed up a bit late, and so a little bit concerning on the amount of innings remaining in that bullpen tonight, with Carpenter going here this evening. They hope he can give him some length. Here's the 2-0. Drilled to center field, and that ball hit hard. Reyes is on the run, still going back, not going to get it. It's up against the wall. Anderson rounding third. They will send him home. He will score. Throw to third base. The tag, and he is out. Rondon got a little bit greedy and was cut down.
That's exactly what happened to Rondon. I mean, that's a ball right there where he can stay at second base. He clearly has the play in front of him, but yet he tried to run on a perfect relay throw from Victor Reyes. He gets the ball to the strong-armed Jose Iglesias and a strike to Candelario to apply the tag. Looked like Rondon may have stumbled momentarily as he got around second base, but still probably should have stayed at second.
Good tag there by Candy. The putout goes 8-6-5. Sox get an early run in this game. And now Garcia lines one back in the Chicago dugout. Oh, it just got Anderson on the backside.
That's a good spot right there for most folks.
He appears to be okay. Swing and a miss. He chased up top, now 0-2. And there's the foul ball that drilled Mr. Anderson in the backside, hindquarters. The 0-2. Garcia 1 for 8 in the series.
Tigers with that outfield assist right there now have 30, which leads the major leagues. I wouldn't have thought that coming into this season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
A lot of those came when Leonis Martin was patrolling center field. I believe he had 8 before he departed. I mean, he had an outstanding arm from center field, but I believe Nicholas Castellanos has 9. Reyes has a few. Jacoby's gotten a few too.
Pulled to third. Nice stop there in the backhand by Candy. Throws him out. What a play by Candelario down to a knee before it got into the corner and left.
Already a couple of nice plays by the Tigers defensively. One step and a dive to the right, gets up quickly to get the ball across the diamond because Garcia could really run, but you saw that athletic position that Candy was in prior to the ball being hit down to him, and that's what allows you to move laterally to the left or the right to make those good plays. That relay play they made also was a very good play. Reyes to Iglesias to Candelario.
Yeah, and how many times has Gardy said this year that we got to start hitting the cutoff, man?
Right.
We just have not done enough of that.
And lately they've been making all those throws down and where those balls can be cut off.
Here is Daniel Palka. 0-2 on Palka.
Palka hit a ball last night that Jim Adduci dove for, laterally dove across. So that means it was right around his waist. The ball hit the dirt, and the ball was hit so hard it got all the way to the base of the wall in right field. I believe it left his bat at 111 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss, but Carpenter carved him up there, and that will end the inning. They get a run on the double by Rondon. Nothing is our score as we go to the bottom of the first, and Lucas Giolito presented tonight by MGM Grand Detroit.
Overall, Lucas Giolito's numbers aren't all that glamorous. His ERA is over 6, but in his last 7 starts, he's 4-1 with a 4.87 with 40 strikeouts. So right now, Lucas is pitching his best baseball.
Here's the starting lineup he'll face tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers, Candelario, Iglesias, Castellanos, Vimard back in there as the DH and cleaning up Aducey and Goodrum. You got a bottom 3 of Matuk, Greiner, and Reyes. And now Giolito goes to work, sporting a 1-0 lead. Candy in the leadoff slot again tonight for the Tigers. And Jamer looks at a strike.
And good fastball there, right over the top, thrown by Lucas Giolito at 95 miles an hour. He's got a big arm. He'll get up to 96. Got a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
1 ball and 1 strike.
And time now for StatCast AI, and powered by AWS. Lots of balls on the ground to the right side of the infield off the bat of Jamer Candelario, and that's just how they defend him.
Down the third base line, long run, no chance for Rondon.
And Lucas Giolito, former #1 draft choice of the Washington Nationals back in 2012, and was traded to the White Sox a couple of years ago in the Adam Eaton deal.
Big guy, 6'6", 245.
Good pitcher's body.
Now the 1-2. Jamer looks at a ball low, 2-2.
He also comes from a very talented family. His mom, his dad, his uncles and grandfathers, and well, you name it, they're all actors in Hollywood.
Show business in the blood.
Right.
Popped him up. Heading back to the seats and out of play. You know, Candelario, Rod, has gotten a lot of starts now in the leadoff slot for the Tigers. Going forward, we've seen him now in several different positions. Where do you think he best slots?
I think Candelario can hit anyone or anywhere, to be honest with you. First, second, third, and eventually he could probably hit in the middle of the batting order as he matures and gets a lot stronger.
Ripped to right field on a line, but it's going to be caught by Garcia.
But the one thing that I do think that Candy has done more of since batting leadoff, he's taken more pitches, and he hasn't been as aggressive as he was when he was batting second and third. If he was to be as aggressive for me in that #1 spot as he is in that 2 and 3 spot, I would have no problem with it.
Well, he does give you that element of power at the top of the lineup. Here's Iglesias. Iggy at 266. He is 2 for 9 in the series.
The Chicago White Sox probably should have sent Giolito down several times this year because he was struggling. But when you have a rebuilding team and you have a guy that you know is going to be in your rotation in the future, you just kind of let him figure out some things, and that's what they've done with him this year. Him and Ronaldo Lopez.
Well, I guess getting the innings at the major league level is very important as well.
He took his lumps, but I guarantee you he's learned a lot this year. They've been coming inside aggressively on Iglesias lately. I mean, it started with the Minnesota Twins, and now it's continued here with the White Sox. Look at that tailing fastball in on the hands of Iglesias. He's already got a bad hand, and you can tell.
Ouch.
That hand is hurting right now. Get off me, ball.
It's got to be the worst. Swing in a tip foul.
And another thing that happens when your hand is hurting like that, Mario, you want to be too quick because you don't want to get jammed. And a lot of times you get started too soon, and then you swing at pitches you normally wouldn't swing at. And we've seen Iggy strike out quite a bit lately for that very reason. He does not want to get jammed, and I can't blame him.
Again, the 0-2. Line to center field, a base hit. Little 2-strike single there for Iglesias.
Let's set the Chicago White Sox defensive alignment behind the youngster Lucas Giolito. Lamar gets the start in left field. Engel, he can really go get him in center. Garcia, the former Tiger, he's anchored out in right field. Up the middle, they go Moncada and Anderson. They've got Rondon and Davison on the corners, and Kevin Smith is the battery mate of Lucas Giolito's tonight.
Here's Castellanos.
Maybe Castellanos will take a picture too and let Iggy steal a base. Let's see.
Tigers this year have been toward the bottom half of the stolen base numbers in terms of the entire league, but the guy they've got at first base right now has 14 swipes.
Didn't seem like it was going to be that way all year because they got off to a pretty good start running the bases in the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, agreed. It looked like they were going to run a lot. Here's the 1-0.
Giolito is slow and deliberate to the mound, and you gave me some numbers on Kevin Smith before the game started. You said he's not having a very good year throwing guys out at second base.
How about 1 for 33?
Ooh.
How do you like them apples?
Ooh. Which means Iglesias should get a big lead and try to get a bag.
Here's the 2-0. That's down the first base line, out of play. Time now for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. How about Nick against Giolito back in June?
Nicholas only has 2 hits against Lucas Giolito, but both of them have left the building. A home run to right and a home run here at Comerica Park to left.
Let's make it 3. He's ahead 2-1. Swing and a miss.
You don't usually see Nicholas take big swings like that. He's usually much more under control. But he had a feeling that Giolito was going to challenge him with a fastball, and Nicholas almost came out of his shoes.
Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Throw down to second. Tag is not in time. Stolen base for Iglesias on the strikeout of Castellanos.
Pretty good jump here by Iglesias. He also picked the right pitch to run on. It was a breaking ball. And now Kevin Smith, 1 of 34 in throwing out base runners this year.
Well, it puts a man in scoring position now for Victor Martinez. Vimart batting lefty at .251 now on the season, so his average has risen over the last couple of weeks.
There's no player active right now that has done more damage against the White Sox than Victor Martinez has. He has 252 hits, and he has driven in 127 runs against the White Sox in his major league career. No player has better numbers.
Only Cabrera has more homers against the White Sox among actives with 34.
Of course, Victor spent a number of years to start his career in Cleveland and compiled a lot of data against the White Sox while wearing that Tribe uniform.
Tigers have a scoring chance here with 2 outs, down 1-0 in the first. I almost had to do a double take on Ram Pick the Stick today.
Right.
When your turn came up. And you did not pick Victor Martinez.
Yeah. I haven't rode him the last couple of days. He's done well by me. I wish him all the best. Everybody's gobbling him up now.
Yeah, they are. They've learned their lesson.
He's going to hit this ball right where the shortstop is standing, though. Victor's got that kind of baseball skills.
Line to left field and caught on the move there by Lamar to end the inning.
He sure tried to.
Tigers strand a man. enjoy a Miller Lite. Look forward to the Hold True moment later in tonight's game. Ryan Carpenter back to the hill as we go to the top of the second. Carpenter surrendered to Walken and doubled, and the Sox got a run in the first. Matt Davidson will lead things off for Chicago in the second. A full shift on Davidson. 3 defenders to the left of second base. Good power, 18 homers for Davidson.
They kept Davidson quiet last night for the first time, really.
Right back up the middle, knocked down by Carpenter. 1 away.
Davidson had real good numbers against the Tigers coming into last night's contest.
It'll bring up Yohan Moncada. And we'll see if Carpenter's okay. That ball was hit directly back through the box. Moncada had one of the big hits in that 6-run 8th last night. Had a 2-run double.
He hit that ball. It was a 2-0 count, and he got a fastball. Man, he didn't miss it.
That was the last batter that Joe Jimenez faced. It was really odd and somewhat unnerving to see how quickly it exploded on the Tigers' 2 best arms at the back end of their pen.
Yeah, and the Tigers 5 outs away from winning the game last night, and White Sox had other ideas. They had some really good plate appearances in that inning against Joe.
16 home runs this year for Moncada, 49 driven in. 1-2.
This is Moncada's weaker side. He is batting just 170 right-handed with 2 home runs. 2 of his 16 homers have come batting right-handed.
Line drive to right. That'll drop in for a base hit, maybe more. Moncada will hold up as Castellanos hustles it back in. 1 out single. Hey, stay tuned at Tigers Live following the game. We'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. That is the second hit of the game now for the White Sox. That'll bring up Ryan Lamar. Batting a solid 272 at the big league level this year for Lamar. Sliced foul. Lamar began the year with the Twins and then was waived. He spent 4 different stints at the big league level with Minnesota. And not until he came to the White Sox and faced the Tigers the last time they saw Chicago did he hit his first big league home run. And it came right here at Comerica. Oh, 2. Carpenter last year struck out a ton over in the Pacific Coast League. 161 strikeouts with Albuquerque.
Pitched a lot of innings too.
Here's the 0-2. Got him, strike 3. Lamar is caught looking, and begrudgingly now he'll walk out of the box.
Remember this, Mario, when the White Sox were here last time, Yolmer Sanchez was having a lot of fun on a replay. He came over and he pretended like he was part of the replay process. He pretended like he was putting headsets on while he was standing in the on-deck circle. Well, apparently he doesn't like the replay system because he wants to do it by himself here tonight. Check him out. You could tell he's not playing tonight. He's having way too much fun in that dugout.
What in the world?
That's not it, man. They've been having a lot of fun in that dugout. Him and James Shields, man, they've been bouncing around down there.
We talked last night about Sanchez, and earlier this year in a Palka walk-off home run, he ran to third base and dumped the Gatorade over his third base coach's head.
Yeah.
And not the guy that hit the homer.
We saw Nico Goodrum when he had a day off a couple of days ago, having some fun in the dugout as guys were hitting the ball. He acted like he was tallying them off. He had a beverage for every guy that came in. And apparently Yomer Sanchez having some fun in their dugout tonight.
Well, not that you need help in doing this, but I would think it helps you stay engaged here late in the season.
For sure. Keeps the dugout loose, too.
Snap throw got away, and he will hold as the Ducey runs it down. Smith at 283 does not have a homer this year. Smith getting the start today because, quite honestly, he pounds left-handed pitching. 379 rather against lefties. Here goes Sanchez. Not sure what he's doing. Driven deep to left field, way back. This one's going to go. It is way out of here. It clears the bullpen. A 2-run shot for Kevin Smith.
That's Kevin Smith's first home run of this season. 2-0 count, man. You got to stay out of those 2-0 counts, man. Even guys that are batting, 240, 250, they can still act like 300 hitters in those counts. Carpenter gave up 3 home runs in his first win of the season. That was against the White Sox. I believe all those were solo shots, though. This is the 2-run variety.
That'll make it 3-0 for Chicago. Homer number 1 this year. RBIs 13 and 14.
Chicago White Sox are picking up right where they left off. I guess he gets to wear the homer chain. Home run chain is out in full effect.
5th career home run for Smith. He had 4 last year, 1 this year. He didn't wear very long.
Got to get that catcher's gear on.
Got to get the equipment out real quick.
And he's tired. I can't have this dog chain around my neck. My buddy down there, longtime trainer, Herm Schneider, man, he's been there for years.
That'll get back into the seats.
Herm was the big league trainer when I came up with the White Sox back in 1977.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
That gives you an idea how long Herm Schneider's been wearing that White Sox uniform. What a wonderful gentleman.
They ought to give him the chain to wear. I don't remember.
They even got the trainer down there looking at some stats, man. How about these White Sox?
It's a different game, man.
The White Sox got him down there pouring over some numbers.
Hey, Herm, give me some splits. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's amazing. It's too funny is what it is.
2-2. Laced foul down the first base line.
Once this young man right here loosens up his upper body a little bit as far as that swing is concerned, he is going to be a pretty good hitter. Right now his upper body is just so tight. Looks like he likes the weight room, but once he loosens up a little bit, man, and starts to use his hands a little bit more, Adam Engel's going to be a nice little hitter.
One for 4 in the series so far.
Watch his swing, how much he uses his upper body.
He'll take his base. 2-out base runner now. That'll bring up Tim Anderson. And we're going back to college with Nissan with Tim Anderson, who went to East Central Community College in Decatur, Missouri. And look at the numbers he put up there.
You know who else went there?
Marcus Thames.
Country strong.
Wow.
96 and 97 at that same junior college.
That's a nice little history and lineage. Rick Anderson out there now to have a chat with Carpenter.
Rick did a marvelous job in Minnesota, pretty much leading Carpenter through that first victory of this season. He gave up some rockets in that first frame. Home run to Joe Mauer. I believe he gave up a double and also a single in that first inning, but he settled in nicely after that because Rick Anderson was able to lead him every single inning, making adjustments along the way. That's what Carpenter told us the next day when we interviewed him live in our telecast.
Well, here is Tim Anderson. Line drive to left on a couple of hops, a base hit. Angle goes to second and stops there, and now the Sox have 2 on. He's going to bring up Rondon. Carpenter now has allowed 4 hits. Rondon got him with an RBI double in the first. Strike called right at the belt. Well, not exactly what Gardy wanted to see here. He's at the 40 mark in the second inning with 2 on and 2 outs. Oh, 0-2 on Rondon. Rondon with a homer and a double in this series. Good numbers in AAA. 18 homers. They got him from the San Diego Padres. Ground ball, diving stop at first by Adduci, wins the race to the bag. That'll end the inning. Well, up next, the powerful story about why Niko Goodrum wears the name J.J. Mumford on the back of his jersey this weekend. Stay tuned with us.
The back of his Players Weekend jersey this weekend in honor of Jarrett and Jalen Mumford. They grew up in the same community as him back near Atlanta. He called them little brothers. They were baseball players as well, but they were taken from us tragically. It'll be 2 years come September 25th. Niko was wearing that jersey to honor their memory this Players Weekend, and he's also invited Renee Mumford and the rest of her family here to watch this weekend as he does that. And Renee, I'm just wondering what it means to you and to your family that Niko has carried on their memory in this way and invited you to be a part of it this weekend.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank God for Nico, his family, and also it means a lot to us. As my husband would say, he's not here with us tonight because he took ill, but as he would say, Nico keeps the boys alive, and that has helped us. As a family, Nico is part of our family. Even though he wears the name Goodrum, he now wears the name tonight Manfred. And he has been with us for, well, most of his life, since he was the age of 3 or 4. And I can't say anything but thank God for Nico. He has helped us move through the tragic situation, and I can't begin to just say thank you.
Now, I know that you brought your son, Jarrett is here as well. Jarrell is here as well, your daughter Jernay, and you say that Jarrell and Nico played baseball together growing up as well, so there's a bit of a baseball tie in there with all your sons and Nico.
It is. Jarrell and Nico started together around 4 years old. They were always 2 peas in a pod. Where you saw one, you saw the other. It's ironic, today we are here together, and since Jarrell landed in Detroit on Thursday, he's been with Nico. And for as the other boys, there's a big difference. Jared and Jalen were about 8 years. There was an 8-year difference between the 2 sets of boys, and so they were always the babies of the family, and they have to take care of them. As they grew up, Jalen always wanted to play ball like Nico and Jarrell. Jared was the same way. They both were baseball players also. Jalen was part of the Marquise Grissom baseball team back in Atlanta. He was being scouted. So there was a bonding, and they lived to be just like Nico because that's how they grew up, and their older brother.
Well, we're glad that you're here. Thanks for sharing this story with us, and I know that Nico appreciates you guys being here as much as you appreciate him. Thanks for this, Renee.
Thank you so much, and God bless. Thanks, Nico, and to the Goodrum family for making us a part of their family. And I want to say thank you to Fox News.
Guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks very much. We appreciate it, Trev. Great work there as Mikey Matuk has just left the yard for the Tigers. A 2-out solo shot for Matuk. But Ron, what does it say about Nico Goodrum that he would remember his friends? Really a weekend where a lot of guys are taking this as a fun kind of weekend.
You know what, Mario? I hate to say this, but I wouldn't expect anything less out of Nico Goodrum. I mean, since I first met him in spring training, he's just been different. I mean, the way that he carries himself and his humbleness and the way that he speaks to everybody and the way that he bonds with his teammates, he's a special person, and that kind of sums it up for me right there.
A very emotional story. Trev did a great job with that. And meanwhile, the Tigers have gotten one back on a home run that, get this, traveled 421 feet.
Well, Lucas Giolito has had his foot on the gas pedal very heavily all night long so far. And Mikey Matuk, he knew that, so he went up there, he sat on that 95-mile-per-hour cheese, and he busted Giolito.
So Mikey now has 4 home runs. He hit a couple of them in the series in Minnesota. Tigers back to within 3-1 now, a 2-run deficit. Griner swings and misses. But Matuk absolutely crushed that pitch. He has 14 home runs, or 14 RBIs, I should say, to go with his 4 home runs. Griner looks at a ball high, 2-2. Now Giolito's 2-2 pitch. Rolled foul.
And Mikey Matuk only saw 2 pitches in his at-bat against Giolito. The one was 96 and the next one was 95. Here's the 96, and Mikey said, no, not on my watch. And that 95 left the building. And what is StatCast telling us? Ooh, look at Mikey.
Yikes.
421 feet. Exit velocity of 105.
Tigers get their second hit, and they went a long way.
Nighthawk.
Meanwhile, 3-2 on Griner. And he walked him. Nice AB there by Grayson.
Maybe the home run has shaken up Giolito just a little bit, who was cruising.
Here's Victor Reyes. Well, we're about a third of the way there. If the Tigers can get 2 more homers and get 3 for the night, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow for a free small order of curly fries. Need 3 homers tonight for the Tigers. Reyes looks at a strike, 0-1.
And Victor had a nice night last night. Scored a couple of runs on a hit. Also reached on an air.
Reyes had a double and also swiped a bag.
He's starting to look more and more comfortable with each at bat he gets in the big leagues. Earlier in the season, he was not getting much run because everybody else was getting the majority of the playing time. But here lately, he's been getting his fair share of playing time, and he looks pretty good. A guy has not played above Double-A.
Bouncing ball to third, and right there is Rondon. They'll throw out Reyes to end the inning. Tigers get on the board though as Mikey crushes one, 421 feet, 3-1 ball game. Ball game. Sox in the lead. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable players. Want to go down to the minor leagues, and Spencer Turnbull and Matt Manning, well, they're on the move.
Well, Matt Manning's been on the move all year long, man. He's continued to pitch very well. #1 draft choice a couple of years ago. He is now in Double-A at the tender age of 20.
Turnbull, 21 starts. Double-A, has gone to Triple-A, and he has whiffed quite a few batters. And almost 8, make it 9, 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he may be on the move in September as well. We'll see what the Tigers have in store for their call-ups. First pitch is lined straight to center field off the bat of Garcia. 1 gone here in the third. Carpenter allowed 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Meanwhile, Daniel Polka was chewed up by Carpenter, struck him out on 3 pitches back in the first.
Yeah, the last of which was a nasty breaking ball down and away from Polka.
0-1.
You think Polka likes the weight room?
I think they're friends. I definitely think they're friends.
Look at those arms. My goodness.
Acuna, Andujar, and Villanueva have more home runs as rookies. That's it in the major leagues. That's flared down the left field line. Going to be a long run, but foul. Fans win big with Menards and Fox Sports Detroit. Just visit any Menards location, pick up your entry to win the Fox Sports Detroit Ultimate VIP Studio Experience Sweepstakes. Your visit includes a studio tour, meet and greet with the talent. So if you'd like more information, go to any Menards store and check it out. Kind of humid tonight at the ballpark. The low cast as well. Temperature in the 70s. And he missed inside that time. 2-2. Polka down in the minor leagues with Minnesota. Hit a ton of home runs. He hit 270 as well. He hit over 100 homers in the minors, yet they cut ties with him. And Chicago said, we'll take him. And all he's been doing is hitting balls hard. In fact, he is among the leaders in baseball and hard hit baseballs, man. He is up there with the guys like Stanton and Judge.
Right. I don't think Minnesota felt like they had room for him because they signed Logan Morrison to a 2-year contract, and Logan Morrison's pretty much a DH as well, and that's exactly what Polka is for the most part. He's a DH.
Slaps one to left field, base hit.
That's a thing of beauty right there.
Polka got behind in the count, but ends up with a 1-out single.
He wasn't trying to do major damage with this pitch, and it's the same pitch that he struck out with his first time up, and he stayed with this one a long time. He kept that bat in the strike zone, and he was able to flare that ball the other way for a knock.
That'll bring up Matt Davidson. Hit one right back to the mound in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. Well, the White Sox have sure struck out a lot this year. In fact, they lead the major leagues in strikeouts. And they are on pace to set a franchise record in strikeouts.
Youth.
Moncada, a big part of that. He's got, well, like 179 strikeouts. They're a young second baseman. 1-1 on Davidson. Good block by Griner.
I told you earlier that Griner knows Carpenter very well. He caught just about all of his starts while they were down in the minors in Toledo. And which means that Carpenter really doesn't have to shake off Griner all that much.
Slice to right, fair ball down the line. Castellanos over there, cut it off. Polka coming to third. They're going to stop him there, and that's going to be a double for Matt Davidson, and the Sox are threatening again.
You know, the last 2 base hits are telling me that Carpenter's going to have to throw inside a little bit more frequently. Take a look at where this ball is. It's a fastball that looks like it's off the plate, and he whistles that ball down the right field corner. You also saw that base hit by Polka, which was a ball that was away from him, and he hit that ball the opposite way as well. So Carpenter's going to have to maybe show inside a little bit more often to open up the outside corner.
The 6th hit of the game now for Chicago. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Here is Moncada. Swinging a foul back. Moncada singled and scored ahead of the home run by Smith in the 2nd. Tigers playing the infield back up the middle. Low and away, 1-1. 2-1 now on Moncada. 16 homers this year, but most of them, 14 of them, have been hit against right-handed pitchers. Only 2 against a lefty. Way outside, 3-1.
He might have to throw a breaking ball right here. And if he throws a fastball right here, Moncada's going to hit it hard somewhere.
Foul back.
He did come with an off-speed pitch. I believe it was a changeup. Just enough to get Moncada off balance. Actually, it was that breaking ball off the outside corner. If you throw it 3-1, you might as well come back with something 3-2 soft. Or go inside with the fastball.
Ground ball left side. Candelario can't handle it. Iglesias does, but there's no play. Another run will score as Palka comes in, and now 4-1 Chicago.
And right off the glove of Candelario. And trickles to Iglesias. Iglesias with no play.
Moncada gets an RBI. Base hit and an RBI. It's a 3-run lead now, 4-1. And here is Ryan Lamar. Driven to right field on a line. Castellanos gloves it. Davison coming home trying to score, and he will. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Lamar.
These Chicago White Sox have a really good approach going tonight against Ryan Carpenter. A lot of the hits against him today have been the opposite way.
Five-1 ball game, 2 outs. Here's Kevin Smith. Chopper third base side, and Candelario goes the short way to retire the side. Well, coming up, Michael Fulmer joins us from the dugout on the heels of his strong return last night. We'll chat with him next. Now at Comerica Park, and we're pleased to be joined by Michael Fulmer, whose return to the mound last night was very impressive. Michael, thanks. First of all, the fastball last night was sitting about 97, 98. Normally it's about, I don't know, 95, 96. Was that a product maybe of knowing you had a pitch count last night, or were you just amped up a little bit?
Oh, no. I've been working on some mechanical changes, and first saw it down in Lakeland, my 2 rehab starts. Knew my velo was up a little bit, so I figured I'd try to apply it up here, and so far so good.
Michael, you look great. I mean, like you got a nice tan. I mean, I was watching you last night, and I didn't want to say it in the clubhouse. Man, you look like you just in great shape. Not that you've always been in good shape. It looks like that time down there really was good for you, recharging your batteries.
Yeah, it was hot. It was yeah, hot. So everything was good. It's about 95 degrees. Felt like 104 at 6 o'clock game time, and I think I threw about 15 pitches to warm up for the game. So the pitching coach down there asked me if I'm sure I'm ready and loose, and I said I'm sweating. So you know, everything was easily loose down there and down my bullpen.
You know, Michael, I saw some video on the internet of some of your innings down there at Lakeland, and obviously, I mean, those are guys are A-ball kids, and you were overmatching them. But what are you trying to accomplish in the rehab starts? I mean, how much of it is results oriented, or how much of it's just getting through healthy and feeling good?
Oh, that's the big thing, is just coming out healthy and hopefully reaching your pitch count. You know, I know the first. Oops.
Look out.
The first game, I think I had 2 innings and 30 pitches. I ended up getting through 2 innings at 18 pitches, and they pulled me, and I tried to lobby for the last 12 pitches. They wouldn't let me. And then the second start, I had, I think, 4 innings and 50 pitches and got all the way up to 56. So I think it evened itself out. And like I said, the biggest thing was just come out healthy and try to work on some stuff down there.
Michael, Mario made mention of the fact that you had an electric fastball last night up to 98 miles an hour. But how did you feel about your slider and your changeup? And it looked like to me you used your changeup a little bit more last night that you had in recent memory. Yeah,
I used it quite a bit. You know, my main focus was try to fix the slider really, and noticed something with my fastball when I was trying to fix the slider. So I thought everything was good last night. A little bit inconsistent, but I think it's a step in the right direction, and hopefully I can kind of build on it in my bullpen tomorrow.
Here's some video of that outing for Michael Fulmer last night, who pretty much cruised through 4 2/3 innings. And I know, Michael, you reached your pitch count. You wanted to get to that 5th inning to be eligible to get a win. We're talking to Gardy before the game today. You guys had a bit of an interesting exchange on the mound when he came to pull you out. It was kind of humorous. You want to tell us about that?
I just asked him why he pulled the trigger, why he mentioned down to the bullpen so early. I said, you can at least give me a chance to lobby my case there, and he said, no, I didn't want to have the chance of being persuaded. So he went ahead and made the move right out of the dugout, and I just kind of stared at him and, you know, tried to ask why in the dugout after I came out, and he didn't really have anything to say. So I just asked him if I just next time just give me a chance, make it look like I'm fighting to stay in the game, as opposed to me knowing I'm done and nothing I can do about it.
Michael, I want to ask you about some of those younger pitchers down there. Obviously, the Tigers are rebuilding right now, but I know you saw guys like Matt Manning and Anthony Castro and Soto and Watkins. Explain to the Tigers fans how bright the future is for some of these guys.
Oh, those guys are studs. You know, I think my first outing, I threw 2 innings, and Soto came in after me and finished the game throwing seven innings of 1-run ball, and he was bringing it. He had a good fastball and commanded the ball really well to both sides of the plate. I stayed and watched for a few innings, and then Castro came after me the second game, and he was throwing 96, 98, and I didn't know we had those kind of guys down there. But it was cool to be able to talk to them and kind of see them in their going through their mechanics and stuff like that, and just try to do anything I can to help them.
All right, Michael, I appreciate it. Good job last night. Look forward to seeing your next start.
Thanks, guys. Always appreciate it.
Thank you. Michael Fulmer, tremendous last night. Tigers baseball this evening presented by Bell Tire. 5-1, the White Sox have the lead. They are batting now in the top of the fourth. It'll be Adam Engel to get things started. Engel and then Anderson and then Rondon. The White Sox have scored in each of the first 3 innings tonight. Carpenter's 0-1, dives low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I like that pitch right there by Carpenter, and that's the one thing that I'd like to see him do a little bit more of as he maneuvers his way through this White Sox lineup. A few more pitches inside.
Engel hit by a pitch in the second. Now the 1-2. Carpenter allowed an RBI double in the first, a 2-run homer in the second, and an RBI single and a sac fly in the third. 5-1 Chicago. Swing and a miss. Engel is gone, 1 away. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Detroit Tigers home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Three strikeouts now for the lefty Carpenter. Tim Anderson looks at a strike. He's been on base twice in this game. Walk and a single for Anderson. Anderson really, just as soon as he got to the big leagues and showed that he could perform up here, was signed to a long-term deal. They've got him tied up until 2022.
Yeah, they quickly identified him as being part of the future.
1-2.
I like the fact that now Carpenter is using that fastball to go inside. He did it to Engel, and he also did it to Anderson. But then after the fastball inside, he goes to soft changeups, and he's gotten 3 swings and misses after going to that fastball inside. Here comes a breaking ball, though.
Up top, 2-2 the count. Carpenter pitched for 3 years in the Rays organization. Last 4 years in the Rockies system. Never pitched in the big leagues, reaching AAA with the Rockies. Not until this year, at least. And he'll miss again. 3-2 on Anderson.
And Ryan thought he had strike 3 right there, but he couldn't get the call from Ryan Blackney, who is the home plate umpire this evening.
Ducey gives a look, out of play. Carpenter played his college ball at Gonzaga.
He was nice to talk to the day after he got his first major league win. Very entertaining young man.
And he's got another strikeout. Number 4 for Carpenter.
I mean, it's really no coincidence that he started to go inside with the fastball a couple of times off the plate and then goes back to the off-speed stuff to get the swings and misses from Engel and now Anderson with those 2 breaking pitches. Yeah, but you see those pitches are now going inside, and then you throw the soft stuff and they're still looking inside. You can get a swing and miss.
Here is Jose Rondon. Double RBI for Rondon in the first inning. 2-0. You know, you talk about going to a school like Gonzaga, which is obviously more well known for its basketball team and that program, but there are so many scouts out there, Rod. If you can play, someone will find you.
No question about that. And a lot of times guys that go to schools that aren't necessarily known for one particular sport, they'll go play a school, and that other player on the other team has a lot of scouts that are watching him play, and you can get recognized that way. That's how a lot of guys are recognized at the smaller schools. I like the fact that Carpenter's going inside with that fastball now, Mario. It makes all the difference in the world for him.
Well, he has righted the ship after giving up 5 early runs, 2 in the second, 2 in the third after a run in the first.
They're going back in there again.
Missed inside, though, and the count goes 3-1 on Rondon.
Probably going to throw Rondon an off-speed pitch right here, but Rondon in the back of his mind might be still looking for that fastball in. Therefore, he might just get himself a swing and miss. Another heater in.
Ooh, look out, knocked down. It's going to roll to Iglesias, and they'll get the 1-6-3 out. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth.
Stress this enough. If you're coming to the game tomorrow for the Alan Trammell retirement ceremony, it will begin at about 12:30. Tigers and a White Sox game is scheduled to begin just after 1 p.m. But for those of you who don't make it downtown for the ball game and the retirement ceremony, we'll carry it live for you here on Fox Sports Detroit during Tigers Live, which will begin at noon. Again, about 12:30, the retirement ceremony will begin, and right about there, to one side of Jack Morris and just below Charlie Gehringer, we expect that the number 3 will pop up between tonight and tomorrow, and number 3 will be taken out of service for all eternity by the Detroit Tigers. Guys?
Well, we look forward to it, Keats. If the Jack Morris ceremony was any indication of how fun that's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be a blast.
I think this place will be packed tomorrow to honor Alan Trammell, a guy that spent his entire career wearing one uniform.
Victor Martinez is starting things off for the Tigers here in the bottom of the fourth. Giolito spins a breaking ball up there that's rolled to second base, and Moncada throws him out.
Meanwhile, Lucas Giolito looking nothing like the guy that came in with the highest earned run average at 6.08 of all qualifying starters. I told you in his last 7 starts, he's 4-1 with a respectable ERA, and the Tigers are seeing that here tonight. His fastball has a power fastball up to 95, and his breaking pitches have been very good. He's kept the Tigers off balance all night.
Here is Ducey, who lined to left in his only at bat. The other thing about Giolito is he has walked a ton of batters. In fact, he was at about 5 walks per 9 and had 2 separate games this year in which he walked 7 in a game. The 0-1 pitch is outside, and 1 ball and 1 strike. Giolito came in leading the American League in walks. Here's the 1-1 to Ducey. Only Lance Lynn, now of the Yankees, has a higher walk rate than Giolito. Actually, not by much, but slightly higher. A couple of Braves pitchers on that list as well. 2-2 on the left-handed swinging Ducey. Well, the more I see Ducey swing the bat rod, the more I'm really impressed. He's got a nice stroke, a nice line drive stroke the other way.
And that's the best stroke you can have. I mean, if you're not a true power hitter, if you could master driving that ball the other way, there's a lot of hits over there.
A little bit of rain starting to fall now here at the ballpark. Seeing some umbrellas. There you go. Don't know that it's going to be heavy enough tonight to cause any problems. Slice the other way.
I think what Ducey does, man, is he clears his hips out of the way. I mean, you can see he opens up his hips ever so slightly as the ball's approaching home plate, and that allows the barrel of the bat to get over the heart of the plate and creates that angle where he can drive the ball the other way. Here's that swing I'm talking about. Take a look at Ducey's hips here. Ever so slightly, they open up, and he takes that foot down toward first base. Now look at the barrel of the bat. It stays in the strike zone. It gets in the strike zone about right here, and it stays in there for a long time. Simo almost talks about a bunch of clicks that the bat stays in the zone before you come out of the strike zone.
He's battling Giolito here. A lengthy at bat for Mr. Ducey. Goodrum will be next. Ronnie trying to keep the rain away.
I petitioned something to Ronnie Rodriguez today, and he said he might do it.
What's that?
Have you ever seen Jimmy Fallon when he has like somebody under singing, and then
yes.
he has like the little band around him, and they got little cans and they got all stuff like that? I say, me,
yeah.
Mario, Simo, we get a little band around him. He do the sing. He's a rapper now, and we get our little stuff, and we just kind of beat on the stuff and make the beats.
I'm in.
You in?
I'm in.
I told him it would be fun. He got a big smile on his face. I think he liked the idea. You ever? That's pretty good stuff.
Popped up towards second and hauled in there by Moncada. 2 away here in the 4th inning. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. Look at Ronnie. He's jamming right now to the walk-up song.
I like Ronnie. Did you know that? I didn't know this. Did you know that his walk-up song, did you know that was his music?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's his own music.
I did not know it.
El Felino is his name. Nico is up there now with 2 outs. Pop foul back out of play, 1-1.
And Ronnie said that El Felino is his stage name as a rapper, but it means quick feet. Cat-like reflexes.
What's going on here? How could you see the game with those on? That's in the air toward left field. Palka cruising over, and Giolito has a 1-2-3 4th inning. Oh, bachelorette party going on. Fifth now here at the ballpark back at Comerica. Mario and Pemba with Rod Allen. Craig Monroe joining us in the booth now. And Simo, Rod and I were just talking about Lucas Giolito, not the same guy we're used to seeing in a White Sox uniform.
Well, he's a lot more efficient. I think this time around the location of his fastball to both sides of the plate is really giving the Tigers some trouble, but he's also throwing his secondary pitches extremely well.
Avisail Garcia will lead things off here in the fifth inning. Garcia, Palka, and Davidson against Carpenter.
Carpenter made a nice adjustment in that last frame. Let's see if he continues to do it. It looks like he is. He started throwing that fastball inside. He started getting some swings and some misses because of that fastball inside. Simo, that's what we were talking about in the first couple of frames. He was giving up base hits that way to Davidson. Palka was hitting balls to left field. He's left-handed, but now he's coming in, and it makes his life a little easier.
Well, what he allowed the White Sox to do is cut the plate in half, Rod. They simply allowed him to take the inside part of the plate, and they were going to look away. And when they got pitches out over the plate to handle, they stayed on the baseball, and they hit the baseball extremely hard off him in those first 3 innings. But I like that he's able to make that adjustment. I guarantee you had a conversation with pitching coach Rick Anderson. He said, listen, you got to go inside. You got to use both sides of the plate.
Especially if you're not a hard thrower. They will sit outside all day long on you. Look at Griner going back in there again.
In on his hands and pop foul back out of play.
And by him going in there on the fastballs that are 89, 90 miles an hour, all of a sudden now you come with a breaking ball. And Garcia might be looking inside still. He might get that bat in the strike zone and out of the strike zone because he's looking for a fastball, and that's where you might get a swing and miss on something soft.
Here's the 1-2. That's a fair ball behind the bag. Candy's throw is not in time. He threw it away. But Garcia will not advance. It rolls back to Adduci.
That was kind of an awkward play, and we got to get a replay, but it looked like to me it hit the bag. And the ball hit the bag, and then Candelario went over there and he backhands it, and he's not sure whether it's fair or foul, but it's called fair, and he throws off balance, but not before the speedy Garcia gets down the line with an infield knock. Looked like it hit the back of the bag.
Garcia with too much speed able to beat that one out, and that'll bring up Daniel Palka now with a single and a strikeout. Down the right field line and deep. It is hooking, and that ball is foul. He just missed it.
Right, I heard you ask Mario earlier today, does Polka like the gym? I just kind of chuckle a little bit. He just missed hitting the home run right there.
You're not kidding, man. That's feet.
You think he liked the weight room, C?
I think he does. I think he does. He's jacked.
Now the 0-1. Polka in his last at bat did a nice job of serving one the other way, a base hit to left.
And it looks like Carpenter's making the adjustment. And it looks like the adjustment he made is he's going to throw inside to Polka as well, to both left-handers and righty.
Inside again.
The only thing that I wish that he would do now is to throw more of those pitches over the plate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he's thrown about 6 or 7 or 8 of them in there, but the majority of them he's missing with. But that might be his purpose.
Three and one. Tigers have some activity now. It's Drew Verhagen beginning to loosen up.
And Carpenter's about to throw his 90th pitch of the evening.
On the outer edge. You guys notice that Grayson Griner, when he gives the signs, he doesn't normally lower his fingers like most catchers. It's pretty high up, isn't it?
It is.
It's a quick sign, too.
Yeah. I mean, normally guys try and get the fingers down as low as they can so nobody can steal them. Swing and a miss. Runner goes, and there's going to be no throw to second base.
Here's what Griner has started to do, and it started back in the third frame. Take a look at these fastballs inside to Engel and also Tim Anderson, the talented shortstop. Inside. He did the same thing to Anderson. He did about 4 in a row, and then he came back with some softer pitches, and he was able to punch both guys out because they started looking for those fastballs in. It opens up the breaking ball. They start to be quick, and that's how you get easier outs. That's our bell tire pitch by pitch.
Rod, that's an effective pitch, especially that breaking ball when you establish inside, because it comes out the same with the same arm action, but it's coming in that same tunnel as the fastball, and then the ball just runs in under the right-handers, especially hands, which makes it tough for you to take, but it also, you swing over the top of that pitch as well.
And take a look at these swings and misses so far this evening by Carpenter. The most on the fastball and the slider, 6 apiece.
Davidson had a double in the third and scored a run.
And Rod, you would know this. When you face a left-hander that's not overpowering, don't you feel like they have to change speeds? They have to use both sides of the plate to keep you off balance? Because for me, I felt like if he didn't throw hard, you weren't going to beat me with the fastball.
No question.
That's going to be trouble as it goes to the corner. It'll not get another run. Davidson chugging and rumbling to second with his second double of the ball game. And that'll make it 6-1. That's going to be it for Carpenter. Here comes Ron Gardenhire. The White Sox scored in every inning but the fourth against Carpenter. And now the left-hander will be pulled out of the ball game. Drew Verhagen coming in. Tigers down 6-1. We'll be back. Brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires that auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. There is the Mickey Lolich bobblehead that was given away to fans before the game today. Boy, Mick could get it done on his day.
Low.
Mario,
did you guys get one?
Simo, yeah, we've got one back here somewhere.
You didn't get one?
I didn't get one. No love for Simo up here today.
We'll work on that for you.
I need one. I want one.
We'll get it done. Don't worry. Well, Drew Verhagen coming on now for the Tigers. Carpenter just didn't have the same amount of moxie that he had in his first start.
He really didn't. He left a lot of pitches over the heart of the plate. And I said this earlier. If you're not overpowering, you have to use the corners. You have to use both sides of the plate. And you have to change speeds. And I felt like today he left a lot of pitches at 89 to 90. I mean, they were center cut. And the Chicago White Sox is a team that hits the ball out of the ballpark. Yes, they strike out. But when you're getting those kind of pitches, Rodney, and you know this, guys are going to barrel that up.
I thought he was a little tardy making an adjustment. I mean, he gave up 1 in the first and 2, and then 2 more in the third inning. He made an adjustment in the fourth, didn't give up anything, and he gave up that 1 right here. But his pitch count's already up. But if he pitched in the first 3 frames as he pitched in the fourth and the fifth, he'd still be out there right now, in my opinion.
Moncada pops it up, shallow left field. Matzuk coming in. Mikey hauls it in. Runner will hold, and there are 2 gone now. Here are the wall side windows numbers on the right-hander Verhagen.
Since July 1st, Verhagen has pitched some really good baseball. Take a look at his numbers. His last 14, 24 innings, a 2.59 ERA. He's not walking anybody, and he's striking out batters. So, Drew Verhagen continues to pitch really good out of that Tigers bullpen.
You think that's the biggest adjustment, right?
What's that?
For me, the fact that he was able, he got his command better. I thought he fell behind the plate, man, behind hitters way too often. And then he had to groove that fastball. But now if you pitch ahead with that fastball and then you have that wicked breaking ball that he's featuring, he can put up these kind of numbers.
I think what helped him too is when he was DFA'd and he decided to stay in the organization, and the Tigers were looking for starters down in Toledo, and he went down there, and I mean, he balled. Then he came back to the big leagues, and he pitched well until he broke his nose, and then he's come back now and pitched well. But he really had a good month of May.
He had a 1.32 ERA in the month of May.
That's good.
That'll get you back up.
Yeah, it will. I like the plane that he throws the baseball on. It's a good downward plane. And when you're in that batter's box, it's very difficult, Mario, to barrel up the baseball when it has that good downward plane on it.
What about that 12-6 though?
Oh, that's that knee buckler.
Do you guys see any scenario in which Verhagen could be in the rotation, or is he pretty much settled into a relief role in the major leagues?
For me, he's a reliever. I think they've given him ample time to start, and I just think that he uses 2 pitches, which are his best 2 pitches, and that's the fastball and the curveball. And if you've only got 2 that you use, more than likely you're going to end up in the bullpen. Yeah,
but I think he can be effective out of the bullpen, throwing a good firm fastball, mid-90s, with that wicked breaking ball. He'll be able to come in 6th, 7th inning, give you some length. I think couple inning, he's a couple inning guy, but he's got good stuff, and when he commends it, that makes him extra special, I believe.
That's Ron Gardenhire sitting next to his QCC, his quality control coach.
Leave it to you.
They shorten everything these days.
You know what QCC? Yeah, you know me. Hey, Simo, don't say I never gave you anything. Here you go.
Well, I still appreciate you guys.
Oh, love you.
We'll see you on postgame, buddy.
All righty.
Fourth home run in the last 10 days for Mikey Montuk.
Ball went 421 feet. He killed it for his fourth home run of the season. And Mikey will lead things off here in the fifth inning. He got the Tigers on the board with that homer. The BP brighter picture since the 13th of August when Mikey was recalled from the minor leagues. He is among the leaders in homers. It'll bounce in and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Lucas Giolito is now 11 of 16 in first pitch strikes. So that's one of the reasons why he's having such success today. Tigers with just 2 hits, 1 run on the home run by Montuk. I guess we're kind of seeing, Mario, what all the fuss was about with Lucas Giolito.
And sometimes I guess you just got to be patient. I mean, we expect things immediately. Giolito was only 24. And he was getting his brains beat out earlier in the season, but now he is transformed into what people expected. 2-2 now on Montuk.
And Montuk not getting as many fastballs as he did in his first at bat today. And Montuk hit a 95-mile-per-hour fastball over the left center field gate into the White Sox bullpen.
Got him. Mikey is down on strikes. 4 strikeouts now for Giolito.
And Giolito probably will not throw Mikey Montuk another fastball all night long. Came back with a real nice breaking pitch here at 83 with some outstanding depth. Actually, that's a circle changeup. It's an off-speed pitch.
Now Grayson Griner. To center field, but playable for Engel. Two gone. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' '68 World Series team on September 8th when the Tigers host the Cardinals. It'll be a 6:10 start. Arrive early for a special pregame on-field ceremony presented by Comerica Bank. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com and be a part of the celebration. Victor Reyes bats. Victor grounded out 5-3 in his only at bat.
And Giolito now 13 of 18 in first pitch strikes. Didn't you say he's walked quite a few this year already?
Yeah, he was leading the league in walks.
Yeah, he settled in nicely, man, his last 7 starts. He's figured out some stuff. That fastball is still firm in the mid-90s. He's got a good pitcher's body, too. 6'5".
Giolito earned his first major league win against the Tigers. That was last August when he was called up. The 1-2.
He's only been in the big leagues for a calendar year, and this is already his 5th career start against the Tigers.
Turning into a rainy gray night here at the ballpark. Rain still falling. Again, the 1-2. Low, 2-2. Top of the order, Candelario. Should Reyes reach? Swing and a miss. Nope, got a piece of it. Reyes with an awkward swing there, barely staying alive. swing and a miss, and he takes care of Reyes. So 1-2-3 inning. Well, coming up, we're less than 24 hours from number 3 being retired forever. We'll hear from the Tiger legend next.
I could catch the ball and throw the ball, you know, better than most at a young age. Well, that continued. But there's a lot of kids that can do that. And I know that all the guys that make it, I do know that it comes from within. And I was a little wiry little guy, but I had a lot of heart, and I was determined to make it.
The words of Alan Trammell, and tomorrow, of course, we will retire his number 3. Tigers Live begins at noon. The ceremony starting at 12:15. If you're coming to the ballpark tomorrow, be in your seats early. We urge you to do that so you won't miss any of the celebration in the pregame ceremony for number 3.
That's good advice.
He'll join the number 47 of Jack Morris, who was retired about a week or so ago. Verhagen back to the hill now, facing Smith, Engel, and Anderson.
Since both Tram and Jack were told they were going in the Hall of Fame, man, they have been some kind of busy, man. They've been everywhere, a lot of traveling.
Whirlwind, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think Morris still has something happening in Toronto where he played as well. They'll do something for him there, and so, you know, Tram was busy earlier today signing autographs.
Well, he's writing that HOF after the name now. You know what I mean? Tram told me a few days ago that he left his house, obviously, a few days before the Hall of Fame induction, which was, what, a couple of weeks ago?
Yep.
He said he's not going to get back home until the season is over.
Whoa. One hopper hit to Iglesias.
And usually when you're a rover, you know, like Alan Trammell or some of the rovers in the Tigers minor league system, where they be the minor league roving hitting guy, the minor league roving catching guy, they usually let you get home for about 4 or 5 days a month because you do all the traveling. So you get a chance to go home and recharge your batteries. But Alan said it's going to be about 2 months before he gets back home.
Well, it's certainly going to be all worth it for him.
Oh, no doubt. He wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Here is Adam Engel, who has a strikeout, also hit by a pitch.
Oh, number 3. Got to talk to Reyes about standing on that number.
I don't think he's worried about it. Hopefully it won't be soon, or it won't be long, and it will be soon, when we'll see number 1 go into the Hall of Fame, and that would be Lou Whitaker, who would appear to be next in line, and that's the hope. I know Tram has been campaigning heavily for Lou.
Dan Petrie was on the John Keating show today, the pregame show, and
also known as Tigers Live.
and he said that when Tram when he first heard Tram was going into the Hall of Fame, he immediately thought of Lou. I mean, right away.
Yeah.
If Tram's going in, Lou's got to be going in. And I think that's the way most people here in Michigan think.
And around baseball as well, I think. Here's the 1-2. Little chopper back up the middle. Nico on the charge. Got to hurry up because Engel can scoot. 2 away.
Hey, Lou was so funny on the set today. John Keating also asked Lou, he says, man, why would you come back for this? I mean, obviously he was here last week for the Morris thing, and now he's here again, or a couple of weeks with the Allen Trammell. And Lou said, because if I wouldn't have come, they'd be calling me Sour Lou instead of Sweet Lou. And he says, I didn't want them to call me Sour Lou.
Well, Sweet Lou and Tram were together a long time, over 1,900 games played together. Anderson cuts and misses. They turned 751 double plays. Ooh. The 0-1. Meanwhile, Verhagen doing another really good job. He's retired all 4 batters that he's faced. Infield getting a little slow now. The track is getting slow with all the rain falling. That's rolled toward Iglesias with a running scoop. Quick throw, got him. Nicely done.
Yeah, do or die play there for Iggy.
Cody Allen last night. He gave up back-to-back home runs, leading by a run in the 9th inning by a pair of rookies, Ryan O'Hearn and Hunter Dozier.
Back-to-back walk-off?
Back-to-back, and they walk off the Indians.
Wow. Cody Allen's having a tough season.
It's not been good, and not really to his standards. The addition of Brad Hand and Andrew Miller coming back off the disabled list, but still that Indians bullpen has not been locked down by any stretch. 6-1 here. White Sox have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Giolito goes back to work. Top of the order, Candelario, Iglesias, Castellanos. 10 straight have been retired by Giolito.
Yeah, Candy should get a good fastball to hit here, and if he does get it, I'd like to see Candy get a good swing at it. Candy not agreeing with that call there from Ryan Blackney. Anderson, Moncada, and Davison all on the right side of the infield. Rondon, the lone member, on the left side. Giolito's pitching out there, man. I wonder what his pitch usage is today. I know he's used his fastball quite a bit, but his breaking ball and his changeup have been really good pitches too. He's only given up 2 hits.
Oh, we can get that for you. Yeah, 1 run, 2 hits. That's it. Here's the 2-1. Popped up. Left side of the infield to the grass it goes, and Polka comes out of nowhere and makes a sliding catch. Or Lamar, rather. Man, I thought for sure that was Rondon's ball.
Well, Rondon's camped underneath the ball. Look at him. He's ready to catch it. He just gets out of the way. I mean, that's what you do. I mean, as an infielder, you go back and you get there and you camp underneath it. And then if that outfielder calls you off, whether you're standing there or not, you have to get out of the way. The outfielders have priority over the infielders.
Now Iglesias.
A lot of first pitch strikes today for Giolito. This might be one of his better starts of the year so far.
Well, don't look now, but he's retired 11 straight.
Starts Iggy off with a good breaking ball, then he comes back with a really good fastball. Here's the usage. Yeah, 58% with that mid-90s fastball. Look at the usage of the changeup down here. 20% with that changeup down there.
Single, stolen base, and a ground out for Iglesias. Pull down the left field line. It's going to drop fair and go up against the wall. Iggy's on his way to second. That'll be a double for Iglesias with 1 out.
What a beautiful piece of hitting here by Jose Iglesias. He's already seen the breaking ball a few times here today. And he had a feeling he'd get another breaking ball here from Giolito. So he goes down and he gets a really good pitch. I mean, that's 80 miles an hour and it's down and it's not a strike. And somehow, some way, Iglesias is able to get down there and not only hit it hard, but keep it fair.
Second knock of the game now for Iglesias. And here is Castellanos. Tigers trying to crawl back into this game. They're down 6-1.
Iglesias really the only Tiger other than Mikey Matuk able to do anything today so far against Lucas Giolito.
Iglesias now with an 8-game streak. Nick rolls 1 to third. Glove there by Rondon. 2 gone. Time now for the Bernstein advantage, and Castellanos still has been good against the White Sox. Most RBI in a single season against the Sox, and he's right up there with old Walt Tropo.
Nick has what, 74 RBIs, and 19 of them are against the White Sox? 73.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high percentage.
Done a lot of damage. Here is Victor Martinez. Fly out, ground out for V-Mart.
And with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, the shortstop, Tim Anderson, not playing on the right side of the infield as they usually defend Victor. And he is basically behind Iglesias. Not going to open up the entire left side for Victor.
Chop foul, banged it off his foot, and the count is 0-2 on V-Mart. Well, folks, you don't want to miss tomorrow afternoon's broadcast. It'll be a very special day at Comerica Park. Tigers retire Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Alan Trammell's number 3. So join us beginning at noon right here on the one and only Fox Sports Detroit.
Yeah, that number will never ever be worn again. Ian Kinsler, and the last Tiger to wear number 3.
0-2 on Martinez. It'll be buried in the dirt, blocked nicely there by Smith.
And Giolito's pitch count not in horrible shape either. He's only thrown 88. 64 strikes. He's only missed the strike zone with 24. It's the best we've seen him by far.
Well, I was looking at all of his starts, trying to find one that might have been better than this. He went 6 1/3 scoreless against the Royals. It was back in July, but by and large, this is right up there among his best so far. Here's the 1-2. Level the count now, 2-2 on Victor. Should he reach Jim Adducey waiting on deck?
Lots of changeups. The changeup's been a very, very good pitch for him. Giolito wears Bigfoot. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what he's got on his back. He must have some 16s or something on his feet. 16s or 17s or something. Nice job by Victor.
3-2 now on Martinez. Unless he's actually searching for Bigfoot, which is always a possibility.
Yeah, there's been a lot of folks doing that over the years. And a lot of folks claim they've seen him too.
That's right. There's Bigfoot. Here's the 3-2. Well, Martinez came in 4 for 8 against Giolito.
Several guys came in with some decent numbers against him. Castellanos with some good numbers against him. Candelario with some good numbers against Giolito.
Clearly today a different guy, though. White Sox have won 7 of their last 10. And they lead here tonight 6-1. Slow roller toward third base. Rondon will charge. He's got plenty of time. Victor is out to retire the side. Nothing comes of the Iglesias double.
The question, Lou, I can't believe you didn't show up for Tram. How could you? And now you can't say that, you know. So I'm still Sweet Lou, right?
Yeah, you still Sweet Lou.
I would have been Sour Lou if I had showed up, right?
1-800-CALL SAM. Call of the game. How about that? They call me Sour Lou.
Yeah, he had some fun down there today. Lou's been great, man. Good to see him back here in you know, being a part of the organization and coming back for the festivities and, you know, sharing in what Tram and Jack have been given here the last couple of months. It's wonderful.
You know, you could really tell the love that those two guys had for each other, because we have seen Lou now on several occasions speak on behalf of Tram at certain dinners, and now, of course, tomorrow he'll speak, and it's always in glowing terms. He's willing to do it.
Lou said he was East Coast, Tram was West Coast, but they bonded.
Yeah.
And they had a nice relationship.
Well, the rain's still falling here at the ballpark. The Tigers are down 6-1 as we go to the 7th. Jose Rondon will lead things off for Chicago. Up and into Rondon.
And Verhagen, 19 pitches now. He's been awfully efficient. And 19 pitches, 14 strikes, 5 balls. He's doing his job keeping the Tigers in the game, but Giolito on the other side not giving up nothing.
No, that double by Iglesias was the first hit that Giolito allowed since the second in this game. It'll dive low and away. 2-1 on Rondon. Verhagen has retired all 5 that he's faced since replacing the starter Carpenter in the 5th. Pulled on the ground and through right by a diving Iglesias.
And ball hit sharply, Rondon. And by Rondon, Iggy gave it a great effort. Right off the tip of his glove.
That'll make it an even 10 hits now for the Chicago offense. First hit allowed by Verhagen. Avisail Garcia singled, stole a base, scored in the 5th. Ball 1. Popped up right field. Coming in is Castellanos, battling the raindrops into shallow right to make the play.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. And Ryan Carpenter, 4 2/3 innings of work here today. 4 1/3, excuse me. 9 hits, 6 earned runs. Made an adjustment, but that adjustment came a little bit too late. Kevin Smith and Mikey Ma took with home runs in the contest. Smith, the 2-run variety.
Here's Daniel Palka. Couldn't hold up, 1 around. Strike 1 on Palka.
Tram's going to join us tomorrow as well, isn't he? In the booth?
He sure is.
Looking forward to that. Big day for Tram. Busy day for Alan Trammell tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of his former teammates here too tomorrow, and that's one thing that tells you how much Alan Trammell was adored by his teammates. There's going to be a lot of them here tomorrow.
Long list.
Guys traveling from all over the country.
Lou will speak, and so will Gibby in the ceremony tomorrow. Here's the 1-1. Instead, he'll go back to first base. I was asking Gibby on the air the other night. I don't know if you heard it. I said, well, what are you going to talk about? He goes, well, I have 5 minutes. And I said, well, you know, obviously you got a lot of stories about Tram. He goes, yeah, I'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
What else is he going to talk about?
Right. If he's going to eventually get there.
He was kidding, of course.
Yeah.
It'll chop her up the middle, and Candelario tags the bag. 1. There's a double play to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Park. We are excited to be joined by his dad, Tim, a hulking man beside me. We see where Nico gets his size and his athleticism. But Tim, we told the story earlier of Jalen and Jarrett Mumford and why Nico was wearing J.J. Mumford on the back of his jersey, and the Mumford family is here. What does it mean to you that you see your son reach out and keep that memory alive for that family and bring them here on Players Weekend?
Well, it means a lot. I think shows his upbringing, his mom, Connie, and you know, his family, his grandparents. So it just shows that he's been brought up well.
He certainly has been brought up well, and we've seen that with what he's done in the community here in Detroit, but he's also having one of the best years in the American League for a rookie ball player. As a dad, how proud of you of what he's done, and what about what he's done are you most proud of?
Well, I think we are proud as a family of him, but I think mainly just playing hard, playing the game with integrity, playing with all his heart, leaving it all out on the field. That's how he was brought up, so that's what he's doing.
You and I were talking before. You were an athlete yourself. What sort of things did you put in his mind about being an athlete and what it takes to make this living for himself?
Well, he always wanted to be kind of big, and I told him he didn't have to worry about that. It was coming. He's got athletes on both sides of the family, his mom and then myself. So it's kind of hard for him. It's in the DNA.
Yeah. What can you tell us about how he's acclimating to the city of Detroit and with this Tiger team, or how much fun he's having this year from what he's told you?
He loves Detroit. I mean, he's embraced it. They've embraced him. The fans, he loves them. The fans are so great here. I mean, win, lose, or draw, they're with him. So he loves it here.
He loves it here, and Tiger fans certainly do love him, guys. You can see why. Tim Goodrum has a lot to be proud of. So I send it back up to you.
All right, thanks very much, Trav. And there is no doubt why Nico Goodrum is such a good guy. Just listening to Tim Goodrum just kind of explains it all.
No question about that. And if I ever need anybody to get in the foxhole with me, I'm calling Tim Goodrum. My
Put him in your Rolodex.
Oh, man, he coming in that foxhole with me.
Little bouncer back up the middle. Anderson on the charge. And there are two gone. Meanwhile, Giolito continues to cruise along. Bring up Mikey Matuk. Giolito now is retired 15 of 16. Right at the knees, strike one.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Lucas Giolito, the rookie right-hander from Southern California. He has touched 97 miles an hour here today, and he has gone as low as 78 with his breaking pitch. There it is again, a real slow breaking ball. That one at 79. He's dealing out there. 19 of 25 in first pitch strikes. He's taking very little time after he gets that ball back from his catcher, Kevin Smith.
Down the right field line, slicing though.
Yeah, Mikey ain't gonna see no more fastballs.
No, I guess not. 0-2 on Mr. Matuk. Giolito out of Santa Monica, California. You guys hang out on the pier in the office?
No, he's a little bit younger than I am,
Yeah.
but if he grew up there, man, I know he had a special life, man, because it's unbelievable there in Santa Monica. I did not know until I left there and went back how special it really was. As a kid, you don't really understand how special the area is that you were born and raised in. But when you go back as an adult and you get a chance to see it, you appreciate it a little bit more. I thought all kids live like that. Seriously.
The 0-2. How often did you skip school to go to the beach? Be honest.
Oh, quite a bit in high school. Yeah, quite a bit. You could see the beach from the high school.
I know, so you
could see it.
There's no use trying to hide it.
So, I mean, several days, I mean, you just got to that hill where you could see the beach and you just kept on going. You didn't make that right turn into the school. You just kept on going to the beach.
And you brought your books there and you studied, right?
No, well, there was no study in there. It was so funny, man. Goodness gracious. I hate to admit that, but there was a few days where I just kept on going.
Don't blame you. Dylan Covey warming up in their bullpen. Oh, he spun another one up there, but Mikey just got a piece of it.
He's throwing that bender up there at 75, 76, 77 miles an hour.
Lewis Coleman has been tuning up in the Tigers pen. He'll get the 8th, it appears. Full count, 3-2. Giolito is up to 105 pitches.
75 strikes out of the 105 pitches thrown. So he has only missed the strike zone with 20 pitches today.
111 is his season
30,
high.
excuse me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was his last start.
Ooh,
swing and a miss.
Giolito.
So Mikey is out of there. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
moment. If you weren't with us earlier, we told you the Tigers defensively, the outfielders have been throwing the baseball very well all season to the bases. They have 30 assists as an outfield, which is the most in the majors. And tonight, a fine relay play started by Reyes. He gets the ball alertly to Iglesias, and Iglesias is able to throw the runner out over at third base. So that was their 30th assist of the season.
Victor Reyes coming along nicely as the Tigers now put up 30 assists, which is the most this season. The Orioles at 29, the Rangers at 29.
Nicholas Castellanos paces the group with 9 outfield assists from right field.
Here is Lewis Coleman now in the wall side windows pitching change.
40th game for Lewis. He's pitched 40 innings. He's got a respectable ERA at 3.83, 35 strikeouts. He's only walked 18.
Coleman will have Davidson to lead things off. Davidson, then Moncada and Lamar. Giolito, the story tonight for Chicago with 7 sparkling innings. It'll miss low and away, 1-1.
And Lewis Coleman wears Harold on his back. He said his grandfather was Harold and he was a third, so they tacked that name on him. He said he used to hate the name until he got a little older, and now he appreciates it.
Well, Harold said, or Lewis said, that Harold is an old name, but you're right, as he has gotten older, he has appreciated it. Sawed him off and rolled to third for Candelario. 1 away. Eat, drink, and enjoy the excitement of Tigers baseball. Picnics and party suites are on sale now for groups of 10 to 600. For group ticket information, call 313-471-BALL. Go to tigers.com/groups or text the word group ticks to 313-471-2255. Here's Moncada. Pretty good night tonight from Moncada. 2 out of 3 singles both times. RBI run scored. High fly ball towards center field for Reyes. 2 away. Don't forget tomorrow, special day. Alan Trammell's number being retired right here. Tigers Live beginning at noon. Be in your seats for the ceremony at 12:15 to make sure that you have plenty of time.
How many number 3 jerseys you think we're going to see in this ballpark tomorrow?
8 bunch.
It'll be full.
Ryan Lamar, the hitter. Ground ball, base hit. 2-out single. Speaking of tomorrow, here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Tomorrow it's going to be fun to watch Michael Kopech against Jordan Zimmerman.
And Kopech will be making his second major league start. He made his major league debut on Tuesday. You see his numbers at Charlotte. That's AAA, 170 strikeouts, so you know he's got a big arm. He'll be going up against Jay-Z. And Jordan checks in with a 4.18 ERA. He's won 6 games. He's dropped 5.
Here is Kevin Smith. Ground ball to third. Candelario will go the short way. They get the force to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park, Tigers down 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Grayson Griner will lead things off against a new Chicago pitcher in the Wallside Windows pitching change, and it'll be Dylan Covey.
18 games this year for Covey, 17 of those starts. Has a 5.90 ERA and pitching out of the bullpen this evening.
Griner, Reyes, Candelario for the Tigers, and the first one is in for a strike.
And Covey's average fastball is about 93, which means he can get up to about 95. He's got a slider. He does not use his curveball very much, and he's got a split-fingered fastball. That's his signature pitch. He throws it 25% of the time.
Griner, a walk and a fly ball. Bouncing ball to short. Anderson step on the outfield grass. Long throw is in time.
Good footwork there by Anderson.
Here's Victor Reyes. So Giolito goes 7 and ended up retiring 16 of the last 17 that he faced.
He pitched a really good game today. Tigers could do nothing against Giolito tonight. I mean, he was first pitch strikes all night. He was using that breaking ball effectively, that slow curve ball. He threw 20% changeups. He threw the changeup to the lefties and the righties. He got off tonight. You can see why the White Sox are so excited about the future of Giolito.
Reyes waiting on a 1-1. Right to the third baseman on a line to Rondon.
It's the second time tonight that Reyes hits the ball right at the third baseman. Earlier today, he grounded one right at the third baseman, Rondon.
Well, shall we update Ram Pick the Stick?
We might as well.
All right. Let's do it.
Not a lot going on other than what you're able to do.
Yeah, I got a 4-pointer with Iglesias tonight.
Hey, Mario, quick question for you.
Sure.
What is that little symbol next to the number? I'm not familiar with that. Would that be called a minus? Because I've never seen that before. I've seen
You're going to get a taste tomorrow like that.
I've seen it next to your name a bunch.
No, it's called a loser, Keats. It's rolled up the middle, and out is Candelario. So 8 in the books. Still 6-1.
We're getting ready for Tigers Live, and we'll be here for an hour, but we're kind of speechless when we look at what Lucas Giolito managed against the Tigers here tonight.
What did you just tell me? 3 hits?
3 hits.
That's it?
Yeah, just
well, no, guys,
took homer.
You have to tip your cap, though. Giolito, guys, he was as good as advertised. This is what the Chicago White Sox have been waiting from this young man. 24 years old. He pounded the strike zone with quality strikes, and he had a wicked breaking ball working for him tonight. Tigers had no answer.
Who's the guy with the 6 ERA that was coming in? Because it certainly didn't look like Bigfoot here tonight, Mario.
Yeah, Casey did not show up tonight. A new and improved Lucas Giolito showed up, and as a result, 6-1 as we go to the 9th. Adam Engel will lead things off against Lewis Coleman, who gave up a single but no damage in the 8th inning.
Well located breaking ball there thrown by Lewis Coleman to get ahead of Adam Engel.
One and 2 on Engel. Hit by pitch, strikeout, ground out for Engel, the number 9 hitter. 2 and 2. Tigers have one more against the White Sox tomorrow. Then it's to their longest remaining road trip of the year.
And we will see the White Sox on the tail end of that next trip, too.
Here's the 2-2. Ball 3. Next road trip through KC, New York, and Chicago. And then by the time that trip's over, there's what, about 3 weeks left in the year.
How about that? My goodness.
Winding down. Popped up. Behind the plate, Griner. Well and gone. Top of the order now, Tim Anderson. Burhay get another bright spot tonight.
Yes, he was a bright spot tonight, just like Daniel Stumpf last night, and also Alcantara was a very bright spot too.
Anderson doing a 2-step to get out of the way there. Walking a single for the Sox leadoff man. Chicago did much of its scoring early. They scored 5 of their 6 runs in the first 3 innings off the starter Ryan Carpenter.
And Carpenter really started to make an adjustment in the 4th inning where he put up a goose egg. He did give up 1 run in the 5th, but I did like the adjustment that he made after the first 3 innings after giving up 5 runs.
Ground ball to third. Candelario has it. 2 gone.
And the adjustment that he made, he started throwing some balls inside, and that made him get away with some breaking balls. But the first 3 frames, he wasn't utilizing inside at all. Candelario's been busy down there tonight.
Here is Jose Rondon. RBI double in the first for Rondon. He is 2 out of 4 in this game. White Sox have played this series without Jose Abreu, their big hitter in the middle of the lineup. He is on the disabled list. It'll curl low and away. And much of this game being played in some rain. It's been a light rain, not really heavy at any point tonight, but just enough to be annoying.
Yeah, since about the 3rd inning.
Here's the 1-1. 26,183 in attendance tonight, and they're staying with their team, hoping for a 9th inning comeback. The 1-2. Three and two now on Rondon. If he reaches, Garcia waiting on deck. The Tigers in the bottom of the ninth have Iglesias, Castellanos, and Martinez. Here's the 3-2. Walked him. So Rondon is on for the 3rd time tonight. Coleman issues a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Garcia. White Sox came into this game having won 7 of their last 9 on the road. They're playing some of their better baseball right now. Garcia with a single and a run scored. He is 1 for 4. Oh, 0-2. Carpenter started, then Verhagen. Coleman came on in the 8th. And the 0-2. It'll chopper back to the mound. Coleman, nice snag. And that'll end the inning. Let's go to the bottom of the ninth. Number tomorrow before they face the White Sox at 1:10. Arrive early for a special pregame ceremony, and the first 10,000 fans receive an Alan Trammell 1984 replica road jersey. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com.
There's a spot possibly where number 3 will go right next to Jack Morris.
Here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the ninth. They're down 6-1 as Candelario leads it off. Or I should say Iglesias, rather.
You meant to say Candelita.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
There's the bouncing ball right side, base hit. Iglesias with a leadoff single in the ninth. That is his third hit.
Tigers only have 4 knocks today, and Iggy has gotten 3 of those. He just beat the shift. Got a little two-seam fastball inside. Iglesias just fought it off between first and second.
Here is Castellanos. Up and in, ball 1 to Nicholas, who in this ball game is 0 for 3, 2 grounders and a strikeout. That is in there, a strike called, 1-1.
Now the 5th 3-hit game for Jose Iglesias this season. And Nicholas Castellanos, he paces the squad with 13 of those. Twice as many as most guys.
It'll pop up, shallow right field. Moncada will go back, stumble and make the play. He slipped.
On that wet grass, yeah. Jarred his knee a little bit. That left knee.
He's feeling it now.
Yes, look right there, yeah. The grass obviously is very wet. And you can look at the infield and tell that the grounds crew has done a marvelous job at keeping this field in decent playing shape with all the rain we've gotten today. Steady rain, not hard, but steady.
Victor Martinez 0 for 3. Fly ball toward left field. Lamar is on the move toward the warning track to make the catch. Iglesias hustling back into first base, 2 gone. That's going to leave it up to Jim Adduci. Adduci is 0 for 3. Now the 1-0 pitch. Giolito went 7. Covey came in the 8th and now pitching here in the 9th. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
And Kobe's got a live arm. That last fastball, 95 miles an hour, right past Adduci.
Outside, 3-1. Kobe made 17 starts with the White Sox, 4-10 with an ERA just south of 6 in that role. Fouled away, now 3-2. Tigers down to their final strike. Should Adduci reach, Goodrum is on deck. Line to left field. Lamar is on the move, and that will end the ball game. The White Sox won it tonight by a score of 6-1. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. John Keating with Tigers Live postgame.
Ouch, Mario. Tigers come up short to the White Sox. They didn't muster much of anything against Lucas Giolito. The only run was supplied by a Mikey Matuk homer. We'll talk more about his latest week. Berge had the best stuff as far as pitchers are concerned. And you'll hear from Sweet Lou on Tramp coming up.